The film begins with footage from the Cold War, when a secret organization called Patriots is conducting human experiments to strengthen the country's military. Each of the chosen volunteers is given a unique superhuman power, such as the ability to transform into a beast or control rocks. To eliminate human instability and inconsistency, numerous autonomous fighter robots are seen demonstrating their abilities in front of government representatives to detect a desired object and directly destroy it. They are also quick and efficient, allowing them to easily avoid enemy attacks. The robots move on their own and approach the control room, launching missiles at it and killing all of the representatives inside. Soon after, a cyborg named Kuratov appears, revealing that he is the one who previously controlled the fighter robots. Based on that heinous event, the Ministry of Defense convenes an emergency meeting, at which the general reveals that Kuratov was in charge of the Patriots project. The program was a huge success, so one of Kuratov's co-workers started a second project called Module 1, which allows someone to control all vehicles from a distance without touching them. Module 1, on the other hand, was a colossal failure. Kuratov and his colleague were forced to abandon the project, but he was so ambitious that he decided to steal Professor Viktor Golbanov's research results. Following that, he secretly conducted his own genetic research, which resulted in the deaths of innocent people who were being used as guinea pigs. The military decided to apprehend him in his laboratory. Kuratov hid in a room and attempted to build a bomb, resulting in a massive explosion. However, he survived because his body was coated in chemicals. As a result, he gained enormous power and eventually transformed into a cyborg form while completing the Module 1 project, allowing him to control vehicles. Meanwhile, Kuratov arrives at a warehouse containing military vehicles. He uses his power to start and control the trucks without touching them, preparing to build his own army. The general explains that the only way to defeat Kuratov is to locate and persuade the Patriots Project's superhumans to assist them. As a result, Major Elena Larina is assigned to lead the mission. She enters the Patriots' control room and immediately orders her team to track down all of the Patriots' superhumans. Before leaving, the general concludes that the team that will be formed once all of the superhumans have been discovered will be known as the Guardians. The team conducts a thorough search of the entire database, social media, and unusual reports. They gradually retrieve the data and eventually locate the superhumans one by one. Elena and the team rush to the first superhuman hideout, a hidden church, where Elena confronts Lur, a man whose superpower is the ability to control stone. He initially refuses to join the team, but she persuades him to do so in order to exact revenge on Kuratov, who tortured him during the experiment. They then travel to the desert, where Khan, armed with curved swords and super-speed superpowers, easily defeats Elena's men. After being persuaded by Lur, he decides to join the team in their quest for vengeance. They approach Arsis, who can transform into a huge and powerful bear, in a secluded woods. Xenia, the fourth and final superhuman, has the ability to become invisible underwater. The team confronts her backstage, where she and Khan have a brief fight. Soon after, Lur and Arsis appear and encourage her to join the team in order to defeat Kuratov. The Guardians, a group of 4 superhumans, are finally formed. Xenia reveals that all superhumans are immortal. The military locates Kuratov and is assigned the first task of apprehending him in an old factory where many of Kuratov's men are patrolling. Unfortunately, communication with the control room has been cut off, forcing superhumans to move on their own. While Xenia and Lur sneak into the building, Arsis, in his bear form, and Khan fight the guards. Kuratov and his men, on the other hand, are aware of the ambush and have set up some traps to capture the superhumans. Xenia is discovered and frozen. On the other hand, Lur is ambushed, but he manages to block all the bullets by forming rocks as armor and easily defeats Kuratov's men. Kuratov finally appears and engages Lur in a one-on-one battle. Unfortunately, the cyborg is far stronger than expected and easily defeats the rocky guy. He easily knocks Lur out. Outside, Khan is paralyzed, and Arsis is apprehended using a special web. Kuratov invites the Guardians to join him so that they can rule the world together, but they decline, leaving him disappointed. Except for Lur, the Guardians are imprisoned and given 24 hours to reconsider their decision. Elena arrives at the factory late and discovers Lur unconscious on the ground. Kuratov then visits a military facility, demonstrating that he has assembled his own army and troops. The troops devastate the city, forcing the military to evacuate the residents. They even steal a transmission tower for the old Soviet satellite. Suddenly, a military representative named Nikolai, who leaked the ambush plan to Kuratov, appears and requests a reward from the cyborg, but he is strangled to death. Kuratov intends to transport the tower to a higher location, from which he will be able to control every vehicle on the planet once it has reached the desired height. Lur finally awakens and shares his heartbreaking story about having to watch his loved ones die because his ability prevents him from growing old. Soon after, a professor, Kuratov's former co-worker, approaches Elena and decides to assist her because he recognizes that humanity is in danger. He reveals Kuratov's hidden laboratory within the old factory, and the team eventually frees the remaining Guardians while the professor tries to cure Lur. Arceus informs Elena that he has found Xenia since 8 years ago, but has decided to keep his distance because she has lost her memory. He is also concerned that he will permanently transform into a bear, so he requests to speak with the professor. Elena promises to assist him. The professor is dispatched to the old factory to conduct research on one of Kuratov's clones. Unfortunately, Kuratov confronts him there and releases the poison gas, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, the tower is finally installed on the roof of Moscow's Federation building, and Kuratov begins rerouting the satellite to Earth's orbit. Elena's man reveals Kuratov's true plan to take over all communication satellites so that he can control all vehicles on the planet using the Module 1 project's device. Several aircraft are dispatched to disrupt Kuratov's plan, but they are easily destroyed as they attempt to penetrate the electromagnetic shield. Elena locates Khan, who has given up and left the Guardians, and persuades him to rejoin the team. Elena bestows special suits and weapons on the Guardians to improve their fighting efficiency. Arceus is given a mobile artillery that can detect targets based on their aggression, whereas Xenia's suit allows her to be invisible in any situation she desires and can also turn any objects she touches invisible. Since Kuratov neutralized Lur's ability, he receives a special suit and a weapon that can generate electromagnetic impulses. Finally, Khan's armor and weapons are upgraded, allowing him to deflect all incoming damage, including bullets and knives. They participate in training to become accustomed to their new special suits and weapons. Slowly but steadily, they learn to use their clothes and weapons effectively while combining them with their superpower. With only 1 hour to stop Kuratov, the Guardians rush to Moscow, while the military waits for their signal before launching rockets at the city. While Xenia and Arceus advance through the streets, eliminating the emerging soldiers, Lur fights several soldiers in a basement parking space with his electric whip. Arceus transforms into his second bear form, becoming stronger and faster and destroying several robots. They enter the building and meet up with Lur in the lift. They attempt to reach the transmitter tower but are met by Kuratov's men. Khan jumps from the plane and slashes the pipe, causing all of the soldiers to fall. They arrive at the shield's power source, where Xenia volunteers to turn off the generator. She succeeds, but the shield immediately vanishes, causing her to be injured. Kuratov is confronted and battled again by the Guardians at the top of the tower. Even after combining Xenia and Lur's powers, they are unable to defeat him. Arceus transforms into his second bear form once more, but is easily knocked out by the cyborg. Since the military has launched the missiles, Khan attaches a grappling rope to an emerging airplane and rescues the Guardians from the tower. Kuratov, on the other hand, manages to take control of the plane, forcing Khan to cut the grappling rope and plunge into a river. Elena arrives on the scene and warns them to flee because the missiles are already on their way. Unfortunately, Kuratov gains control of the missiles, which explode in the sky. Elena then reveals that the Guardians have the ability to combine all of their energy and release a blast, but it is too dangerous for them. They are willing to take the risk. Arceus, Khan, and Xenia all touch Lur as he generates a massive blast aimed at the tower. Kuratov is killed when the tower and surrounding skyscrapers collapse. However, the blast drains all of the Guardians' energy as they lay on the ground. They eventually recover and meet Elena on a bridge, where the Guardians decide to return to normal society. Elena informs them that she has discovered another Guardians.